And we're live.
No. Well, hello, everybody. This
Hello.
is James. This is procrastination and productivity. And
I'm Joe.
take it from here, Joe.
I'm going to take it from here. Today, you are listening to a couple of procrastinators looking to get productive. And this is episode 34. While we're currently working on Project Pancake.
Dumbest name.
James whispered something and we couldn't hear it.
Oh, dumbest name ever. Sorry.
Oh, he hates pancakes.
No, I love to consume pancakes.
Okay, quick discussion. Can we just all agree that pancakes are just worse waffles?
Whoa. I don't know about that, Joe. I mean,
Pancakes are almost the exact same batter, if not the same batter, as waffles. And waffles have like a delicious texture to them. Waffles are more work, yes. But if you had a choice between pancakes and some waffles, I think you would ultimately find that you enjoyed the waffles more.
well, if I had to choose like desert island,
Mm-hmm.
kind of scenario, then I would probably say yes. However, when you find those nice, like really soft, like perfectly made pancakes,
And you bite
I'd
into them
maybe
and you're
like
like,
double
man.
up them or something, have like a stack and you just, you know, and if you could
Dig
like
into
have
them.
like a server next to you, with like syrup and like could juice up every single bite for you, like you have to work.
That's what's great about waffles. They have their own little cups.
I know they are superior in that realm. However, if I had a servant who could who could butter and syrup my bites, then there is something to be said about the pancake.
Is this
That's
more
all, that's
about?
all I'm gonna say.
I'm not gonna look too far into that because I'm a little concerned about where your headspace is on this pancakes and waffles debate.
Well, there's a certain amount of efficiency per bite that pancakes have to have in order to be worth it.
Equivalent to that's exactly like no. There's no, waffles are just better. Like there might be those like devil advocates that say, pancakes are easier to make, and some people like the Equate brand of
Sometimes,
waffles.
sometimes you want, that softness, the texture of, a pancake versus the waffle. That's all I gotta
Sometimes
say.
you want to eat a sponge, and sometimes you want something with a nice, firm outside layer and a nice, soft, warm inside layer. Sometimes sometimes you just want to eat SpongeBob SquarePants, and sometimes you want a waffle. Is that what you're getting at?
No, it's what you're getting at. Um. All right. Well, I mean,
Okay, well, that was a fun debate. I don't know how we got onto that, but good morning.
morning.
Welcome to our breakfast podcast. We are here to discuss the importance of breakfast foods and their effect on your day. Oh, I
And
know that's our
so,
next podcast. Sorry. That's our next one. Today's. Oh yeah, we're still working on Project Pancake. All right. How was your week?
my week was good.
I saw that. He thought of it, and then there was shame. Tell
Oh,
me,
there was no
tell me
shame.
about your week.
I can't remember a lot of my week. I was too busy working.
Ooh, dang.
Like this last 20 minutes that I've been playing a game before you got up, because you wouldn't get up to my early wake up call, have been. I can't even remember when I last played a game. Been working too hard, Joe. It's been kicking
Dang.
the butts.
Dang.
Yeah, and I have written down, some notes here because that's how much I've been thinking about all this.
Nice.
I have here, let's see. Commitment is increasing. I wanted to discuss comfort versus productivity. To some degree. I can't remember why I wrote that down, but basically, I think our comfort levels have a lot to do with the lack of production. Sometimes, we're just too comfortable. We can play a game any second we want. We can sit down. We can sleep. Everything's so easy. Sometimes that makes it hard to just get stuff done. But let's see. The fact that I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about, productivity and stuff, and I ended up saying that basically my success is really dependent on the amount of conscious, in the moment kind of thought processes I have on doing the things. So like, that really focused in version of yourself that's it's not able to be really distracted, because if you're like in the moment and really thinking about your future and all that, there's not a lot that can derail you. So it's really that the focus, but it's hard. It's hard to be like dialed in, focused all the time. It takes real energy to be like 100% like aware of your moment, and then to seize it all the time. But that's really the difference, is when you're really 100% conscious of your moment, or are you just not, and less than that, and therefore easily susceptible to the comfort and all those things. So let's see. So what we actually did, we did a lot of photography stuff this week, and we also had to do a lot more complex scene work, which took a lot of time to dial in. And we also made, like, we did as much work as we did last week in photography, and then we also added like 17 videos to that. And it was a lot of work, and it was like get up, and as soon as we're up, we're just working like all day. Like, until so much that both of us were like, our legs hurt.
Dang.
Like the last few days, like just the muscles just constantly. It was like my calves were killing me. But it was good. We have some good stuff that we're going to be putting up, and I'm excited about that. There's a lot I've written down. So like basically, if you want to comment about any of your week, we can go with that for a little bit. I probably have a lot of things to talk about. So
Okay. My week was pretty uneventful. I put my notes into Discord, um, but realistically, I did some project work one day of the week. Um, I just sat in Discord with my little humans, and I drew. I talked to them, and that was really successful. So I plan on doing more of that. I don't know. There's been a lack of motivation on my end, and I do know for me, I think the biggest lack of motivation I've noticed for me that when I feel like I'm the only one contributing to the project at a current time, my motivation wanes. Wanes? Is that right? Or
Yeah.
waxes? Wax is the big one. Okay. Um, and it's not like I assume this is a feeling that everybody would get, right? And so something I would want to work on is being that beacon of productivity that encourages the other person I'm working with to be more productive. So I need to figure out how, to get more productive.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I mean, yeah, it's easy to blame the other person for what you're not doing.
Right.
But and we have found success in the last few weeks when we've worked together.
Mm.
Um I guess I was hoping that you could do more by yourself this week because of what you were saying last week, which I had written down some notes. Was going to ask you about,
Yeah.
how the returning for work week 2 went. The fact that you said, you had beaten kind of the pattern, how every day it was easier to because you had worked so much, and saw how that would
Now that
maybe
work's
pertain to
back
this
up,
week.
it's back to being hard to work. Um, it's easier to work at nights now. I liked going into Discord and chatting and working on my thing at the same time. I think that was fun for me, and I really enjoyed that. Um, I still don't think I can get much work done during the day at work, just because of the interruptions.
You had
But
mentioned maybe going to 5 days a week if you couldn't handle these things. Has
it's
that been given some
interesting
thought?
you mentioned that. So they recently contacted me and asked me if I'd be willing to work on Saturdays. Basically, they're telling me I have to work on Saturdays. So they're like, okay, you'll
Oh,
work Monday,
nice.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. And so my days would be split days off. And that sounded atrocious. And so I was like, okay, can I change my schedule up like completely? And so the schedule that I proposed was that I work Tuesday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which allows me to stay up as late as 11 p.m. every single day and still get like 8 hours of sleep. So I will be working 5/8s instead of 4/10s.
Oh, this is like a solid thing. Like
Yeah,
this is happening.
this is happening.
Oh, so okay. So what are your days off? Sunday and Monday.
Correct.
And when do you work? What your work time?
Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And you can stay up till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Well, and that can fluctuate a little bit. Seeing
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah. I
periods,
could
but yeah,
theoretically go up till 1 and still get 6 hours of sleep.
interesting. Okay, so you determined that if you give up that one solid day, because most likely you didn't get enough production from that solid day to feel like it's worth it. So You
Basically, what
should.
I'm doing is I'm shifting my one day to having an extra bunch of hours theoretically during my regular days. So it's like I feel like it's gonna be. I'm not gonna feel as like trapped or don't have any time during my regular days because during my schedule, I get off at 4:30, right? But I have to be bed at 8 to really
Yeah.
wake up at like 4:30 in the morning.
And I always thought that schedule sounded horrid.
And so like I really only get like 3.5 hours of me time every like work day, 4 days a week. And so it's like woof. With this new one, if I go to bed at 11, it gives me at least 6 hours of sleep, like 6 hours of my own time, which is
Right.
quite a bit more, which means I can actually theoretically work on stuff more consistently.
Yeah, and it's not really even the most powerful aspect of that isn't even the extra hours you have to work. It's the mental clarity that you're going to have without having those 2 hours of extra work. Your brain isn't going to be so, you know, spongy.
So pancakey.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
that's interesting. When does that start?
Supposedly it's supposed to start on the 22nd, so I will probably end up working. I'll probably have. Oh, I'll end up having like a 5 day weekend, 4 day weekend. That'll be fun.
Noise. Noise.
Because
Okay.
I'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh no, it'll be a 5 day weekend. No, I'll have Friday. Sorry, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah, 4 day weekend.
Mm.
Yeah, that'll be
All
cool.
right. Well, interesting. We'll have to talk about when to change up the
Yeah,
podcast day. Probably will be Monday morning, I'm assuming.
that's what I was thinking too. Just make it on Monday.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll still get it out on the same time, hopefully.
Yeah, should be able to
We
get it out on
scheduled for
Tuesday.
Tuesdays, so yeah. Did you get the YouTube video up this week?
Yeah.
Okay, I had somebody asking about when it was going to get up. So, let's see. Well, that's a big change.
Yeah, it is.
In
Well, I
your.
mean, I figured it was like the best.
I can't see me.
Oh, I'm missing the YouTube video. I don't know where it went. I have to take a look more once we get done with the episode.
But well, that's a big change in your life.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. Ideally, I would have probably liked to stick with the same schedule. But I'm excited for change. So, I'm just
Well,
looking at it as a change, like a
if I could
something
make
new.
a suggestion on it,
Mhm.
when you have your 4 days off, maybe schedule to do like your productivity kind of stuff on those 4 days to be the time at which you will be doing it on your normal schedule after that. Like block it off. Don't play games
Okay.
in that time. Actually just get into that work. And then you'll have some extra time, obviously. You'll have those 4 days off. You'll still be able to play. You'll still be able to do whatever you need to do to change your life a little bit or whatnot. But if you can kind of solidify the pattern of working in those periods of time, then when you transition into the work schedule, it'll kind of feel like a normal thing a little bit more. So maybe that'll help. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm excited. Because yeah, it's like I have so much more. Like the biggest issue for me is, or the biggest excitement for me is, because I don't have to wake up so early. It means I can stay up later, which means I can do more things daily. because like that's just I'll so some friends of mine go to bed at 8, just like I used to, or I do currently, but that means that I'll have from like 8:30 to 11, if not later, to work on the stuff that I want to work on.
Yeah, and hopefully you won't fill all that extra time with all
Yeah.
friends all the time. Um, because ultimately you feel pretty miserable if you have to work more often and you still don't get anything done. So
That would be
set yourself
expensive.
up for success.
Agreed. Yeah, I look forward
Did
to
you
it.
finish page 5?
No, I still
Okay.
need to
Well,
show
maybe
you
maybe
the
we should.
two different things.
Okay. Um, that would be good then. We'll do that. And you want to do some programming after we're done with the podcast?
Yeah, I'd like to
Okay.
do.
That'd
Yeah,
be great. We'll do that. Um,
and just if you guys are wondering, we're working on a game of some sort.
yeah. Um, so are you optimistic about this change being
Oh
able to
yeah,
help in some way?
I'm glad that I took the time to ask if I could change up the time I worked and the number of days I worked, and just completely revamp my schedule. Because originally they were just like, "Oh, here's this new schedule," and I was like, "Okay, well that's not great. Let's try doing split days off." And so I did like, I worked Monday, Tuesday, and then worked Friday, Saturday. And so I'd have like working only 2 days in a row at a time, which might have been better, like than what I have currently, or it would have been better than like 3 on, 2 off, 1 on, 1 off. I think, but
Yeah, that was kind of the ideal schedule I tried for, but didn't get.
but then I
I can
decided,
see.
I was like, can I completely change up my schedule, like change the number of days and the time I start working? And they're like, yeah. And I submitted like 4 different possibilities, and I got my first, which was this one.
Nice. Well, I would have to say that your new schedule sounds really good if you can keep momentum. And I think it's designed to help momentum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it can work out just fine.
I'm excited about it, and I won't be as work as long. Like with the 10-hour days, I'm actually there for 11 and a half hours because like the 2 lunches as well, as opposed
Yeah.
to when I work the 8-hour days, I'm only there for 9 hours. So it's only an extra half hour, but it's an extra half hour that I get back to my day. So I'm generally excited. I'm not excited that it's going to be on a Saturday, but theoretically, like most of the stuff I would do on a Saturday anyways are going to be later in the day, so after 5 until Sunday morning, so it would be fine.
Well, that's good. I hope that you're successful with that, and I'll keep prodding you so that
Yeah, please do.
you are.
I like this focus, James.
Yeah, I like today. I kind of wrote down how I felt, and I feel like I woke up at 7 a.m. and usually I decide to I'm like, oh, I don't have to be up till like 8 something. Joe won't be on till 9. And but today I woke up at 7 a.m. and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back to bed. I woke up like on my own. My alarm didn't wake me up. I'm like, so I just got up and cleaned off my desk and just took a shower and just started. And it felt good. And I want to work. I'm excited. I'm before it was like my wife had to drag me, you know.
Right.
And but I saw the production, you know, and because of that, this week it was like, dude, I do not want to fail. I do not want, you know, the time to go by and for me to go, you should have, you could have, what
Right.
would have happened if, and because of that, man, I really wanted to do more, and it was less annoying. It was less of a pull, and I'm excited to do more now. So that's the way I feel. I feel like feel good.
That's exciting. Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
I
oh, go ahead.
I I remember like asking you to we ended up working we were going to work on the game this week, but we ended up playing HOTS instead. And
Yeah,
which was fun, don't get me wrong, but I was like, "Ugh, I still have that ache to want to really get some like take a bite out of that."
yeah, yeah. I felt the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, Hots was fun, even though we completely stink, and then it turned into, you know what? Doesn't this work feel good though? You know, doesn't
Mhm.
this movement feel good? And and so I told myself, well, today I'm not gonna offer Hots here. I'm not gonna succumb to that, and so that's gonna be good. Um, you know, last week we talked about boredom,
Yeah.
like using boredom as your key to jumpstart your life. And I just laugh at that now. I just think to myself, that's bad advice. I'm like, like I want to trade my boredom for change. I want to trade my boredom, you know, for the excitement that I'm having by seeing the production. You know, it's I have a an understanding of what I want to be, and what I need to be to do all the things I'd like to do. But it isn't like, yeah, it's a vision of who I am, but it's more like a feeling. It's more of like, I've had the productive days in my life. I know what it feels like, but I haven't maintained that feeling. You
Mhm.
know, I haven't maintained the focus decision to just continue that that drive, that you know I think it's just, you never let go of it. um and then you have to have the focus to just go, okay, yeah, I've taken a break, I've, you know, played a game, I've spent time with family. Now the focus of jumping right back into that drive, that excitement, that feeling, um and that can get you going, and it can keep you going, because yeah, I'm excited to see how all the production that we've been doing lately is going to carry over. And it's not just carrying over in changing me personally, it's, hopefully changing into a financial change actually in my
Right.
pocket, you know? So it's
It's a great
exciting.
motivator.
Hmm.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm excited for I really want to get to that point where I'm turning what I create into financial gain, because I think that's going to do a couple things. It's going to motivate me to continue. It's going to motivate me to get better. Um, but also it's going to solidify my feeling that it's going to push down like that feeling of, am I actually good enough to do this? Is this actually possible for me?
Well, Saturday is the art walk thing.
Oh, yeah, I want to go to that.
You should make a point to go there around 2:30. That's when I would be available to maybe walk around with you.
Okay.
We could go look at all the booths
I would take some
while my daughter's
notes.
doing her thing. Yeah, you can take some notes and gather some business cards and kind of see how it would feel if you had a little booth, and then we could start talking about when you can come over and start thinking about doing some kind of online sales kind of thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm healthy now. I don't think I'm going to give you the.
Yeah, I was going to mention that we also need to do birthday stuff.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on the list of cool things to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so a lot of exciting things that could be potentially available. Maybe slate your Saturday for open around 2 to 4 or something,
Okay.
and come on down and we'll get together and do a walk and look at some art.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Cool.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we get some work done? Oh, my goals for the week. I want to switch up some of my goals.
Okay. Zero.
I'm going to I'm going to focus on brainstorming ideas that I can also make money from. Like some sort of passive income. With my art, just because I want to be able to free up my time to do what I want. Like theoretically, if I could be like, hey, work, I'm making enough money, doing my own thing that I only really need to work 30 hours a week.
Right.
That would free up even just a little bit of my time to.
No, totally. I mean, and we can talk about that. I mean, we're like top 3%, top 2% of all Etsy sellers.
Mm-hmm.
We probably give you a lot of strategies on how to deal with that.
Nice.
And you can definitely get part-time out of your work if you were doing some good sales, and I think you can. And you don't have to, you're always looking down on your art. I don't think you have to. I think you're exactly where you need to be, and you just need some kind of focus on what to begin with.
Yeah. I think I'm there too. I just, it's hard not feeling like a fake. I had a dream.
Well, did you? Let's hear it.
I had a dream that I was showing someone the first page of Pancake, and they were not impressed.
Well, there will be people that are not impressed.
What? I love that page. I think that page might be one of the best pieces I've ever created.
That may be true, but to pretend as if there are people that are not going to be impressed. I mean, yeah. You put that on the internet right now, there's going to be 10 million haters that can just go, oh, I'm on the internet. I'm going to...
Well, they can go suck some eggs because that's a great piece.
So who cares? Yeah, that's going to exist. So what? How many people did the work? That's the difference.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to do the work than it is to critique someone else doing it.
Exactly. But are you going to show up, and are you going to show up tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's what we're working towards, right? I mean, turning from procrastination to productivity. How do you do
Yeah.
that? Well,
And we're like,
people,
and then
we
like
are.
the people that are listening to this, they're on this vacation, or they're not on the vacation. They're on this journey with us. Like we're learning from like probably where they are to figuring out what actually works, what really changes our lives to be more productive. Because it's it sucks. It sucks not. It sucks working for somebody else, giving them giving all of your time to them, and then feeling burnt out afterwards and not being able to do anything.
Yes, it does. And that does bring up a point. Um, a a big change in me is seeing the production, but knowing that there is going to be some kind of monetary value equated to
Yeah.
it. So, I mean, I would have to say if you are somebody who has a product of some kind or wants to do something, whether it's art, whether it's woodworking, a lot of people make money woodworking. Um, Come up with one product, and find a way to just make a profit off of that. That's it. One product, make a profit. And no matter what, just that one profit, it really does drive,
Mm-hmm.
I would say just seeing some of that is so motivating that maybe, you might have the the vision of seeing yourself doing, all these things or making all of these types of things, but starting with that one can really do a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I still think back on, there was a point when I was streaming that I was making, because like the minimum payout for Twitch was $100. I don't know if it still is. I haven't streamed in a billion years. But it was when I first started streaming, it was like every 6 months I would get $100 because it accumulates. Near the end of when I stopped streaming, I was consistently making that $100 mark every month. And that I still think on that. Just like, even though like it's it's $100, but I still think on that, like, man, it was a lot of work streaming because I streamed quite often. But it was kind of nice being able to like see that growth financially. And it just goes to show like how important monetary value is in shaping our beliefs. Because our culture is very heavily circled around money.
Well, survival is, in any financial system. Yeah, it's a big motivating factor, to be sure. Nothing is going to motivate you more than if you needed that money to eat or something. Yeah, you probably get to work. Yeah. So let's get to work, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for listening. This has been Productivity and Procrastination. I will see you guys next week. James won't. He's on vacation.
What?